everybody. Welcome to Kooomo's latest eMmerced. Today, I'm joined by Murat, who from Segmentify, who's going to introduce himself in a second. So we're here today to talk about personalization. It's, I guess, a lot of uncertainty about what it is, how you can do it, what's it going to cost, like, is this going to consume a lot of my time? And I guess we're here to discuss approaches you can take and kind of maybe allay some of those fears in terms of the benefits that are achievable. So before we start, I would like to ask Murat if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself.
Hi Gary, thank you very much for having me, and hello everyone. This is Murat Soysal from Segmentify. I am one of the co-founders of Segmentify. I have been managing the company for the last 6 years, and my main current role includes mainly managing the growth and the business sides of the company, where I have been involved in the initial phases for the machine learning technologies that are working and underlying in Segmentify is actually personalization intelligence. So I was the one who worked on these algorithms, but for a very long time now, our data science team is handling this part of the business.
Great, thank you. My name's, by the way, Gary Hammond. I'm the head of product here at Kooomo. I realized I forgot to introduce myself. So look, before we start, I think what would be good to kind of frame here would be, you know, the two main areas of personalization approaches. One, manual, kind of, you know, changing language, custom content, like very manual work, which is very effective, versus what we're going to discuss more today is machine learning personalization. So real-time adapting interfaces based on intelligence to essentially drive conversions on the site. So could you, Murat, give a kind of an overview of what machine learning personalization is?
Yes, sure, Gary. Even I can actually add another third option, which is again the manual one, which started with adding the name of the customers into our emails, or as Amazon started 25 years before, even when they log in, hello Gary, welcome, again, kind of nice textures. But starting from there, the middleware is kind of, again, intelligence-based, machine learning-based personalization, but which doesn't work in real time. So you do some batch analysis, like we used to do in the traditional marketing way. You generate target lists, you do segmentation with heavy analysis, and you know which customer is kind of a churn candidate, or there is an upsell opportunity or interest of the customers, mainly for demography-based, ages, gender, and location, as you said. And the third one is what we are doing in Segmentify, where the world is going there, is the real-time personalization. So the difference is, for sure, is coming from the experiences that we used to adapt in the offline retail businesses. So even very, very early stages, I'm 40 plus now, but some 20, 25 years before, without even those big retailer shopping malls, we had those retail businesses in the streets we used to live. So the sales assistant, mainly the owner of that shop used to know all the families around, the locals. So they used to know how many kids a parent has, and the genders and the ages. So when you go to a shoe shop 20 years before, 25 years before, and which still sometimes happens in some parts of the world now, if you still like the locals, which you used to, you should actually support the local shops as well with the social messaging during these COVID times. So the owner of the shop actually knows why you are there. It's before school starts, and they know the ages of your kids, even they know the shoe number of your kids. Before you mainly doesn't bring your kid to there. So you talk, they know it, they give the shoe, you bring it back to home. Then, yes, after 20 years now, we are mainly technology based. It is more online businesses, but we want to adapt this know-how of the retailer, the business owner, marketer, merchandiser, who is in charge of the revenue in the e-commerce business, to know their customers and visitors even before they meet them, even before they see them, even during the first visit of the customer. This is where we are trying to build the e-commerce experience just based on the learnings, past learnings of our retail experiences from 20, 25 years before the offline businesses. Because when you build up that personal touch with the customer, with this current visit, you increase the probability to convert the customer, which is quite important. But if you ask me, Gary, more importantly, you build up an engagement. The lifetime value of the customer, the loyalty of the customer will be increased a lot. This is the most crucial thing for current e-commerce businesses, because somehow we are acquiring visitors and customers. We are investing into ads and people come and buy. We do discounts, yes, people come and buy, but turning those first-time visitors into regular customers, building up a relationship with that individual customer to make them buy more and more and more from us is the main problem for the e-commerce businesses today. So real-time machine learning based personalization actually should help us to achieve this main purpose.
Yep, I agree. And just I guess from my own experience, in a previous role, I worked on an agency working with customers about kind of conversion. How can I get my conversion rate from the 2%? How can I get it to the 3% if they're at that level? How can I get from the 3 to the 4? And I guess a lot of those tactics at different levels, where there's quick wins, there's some kind of content personalization you can do. But I guess using your platform and others, I have to say, I mean, it's been quite eye-opening to e-commerce managers who are maybe a little bit unsure of where to start and how to start, and to kind of be able to very tangibly see matter-of-fact A/B tests, numbers to justify the spend and to see the lift. So for me, it's one of those things in the current, flux, or not the flux, the rapid growth of e-commerce. It's probably something that you can focus on in the short term, and it probably isn't as scary as you might think it is. And it's one of the things that will absolutely prove itself if it's working or not, because you get hard data. So I'm going to touch on the data aspect of it a little bit, but I just want to pair it back to what personalization, machine learning personalization looks like. So in this scenario, I'm a B2C fashion retailer, which is quite like a big, massive vertical for everybody in e-commerce. What would I do? What is personalization going to add to my website? What's it going to change?
Good, very good question, because you mentioned two things, B2C and fashion. Although we talk about personalization, we generally forget there is not one fits all solution. So personalization algorithms and personalization strategies also should differ based on the vertical and based on the type of the business, and also based on the KPIs of the business. So if you are now currently focused on increasing the conversion rate, you should be able to adapt different algorithms. So the tool you are using should help you to focus on increasing the conversion. Or if you are focusing on increasing the average order value, there should be different algorithms and there should be different strategies on this. So that's why very good point, Gary. Personalization should be also personalized to each e-commerce website initially. So coming from there, what Segmentify or a personalization solution should achieve for a B2C fashion retailer? Again, now let's focus on initially the first-time visitors, and then we will focus on the existing customers. So first-time visitor is the hardest problem, because you know barely nothing about the visitor. You know where they are coming from. My Facebook advertisement. They click my new arrivals for the summer dresses. You know where they are coming from, very basically. Yes, I'm coming from London now. You know their type of browser, and you know the machine types. I'm using a MacBook Pro, and using my Chrome, I clicked the Facebook advertisement saying, see the new arrivals for summer. This is all the data you can aggregate from the first click of the visitor. And you land this visitor into a listing page in your fashion store. And during that listing page, the visitor, let's assume, clicks one of the dresses. In the second row, third order, it's a blue dress and it's 40 euros. So second click reveals us, okay, this customer, this visitor is looking for a dress, and the first product they picked up is a blue one. This is the ingredients of the, it's a 60% cotton dress. It's a mini skirt, mini dress, let's say, and it's blue, we know. And in the product page, during the same minute, she clicks and picks up her size, extra small. So these 3 clicks doesn't reveal a lot of information to make an accurate decision about the profile of the visitor. What is the next best option to recommend them, to personalize this journey? But why I said the real-time personalization should be quite helpful. Still, after the 3 click, you should be able to make some decisions and estimations, predictions about this current visitor. Most probably, they are looking for a blue dress. Might be other summer colors an option. 40 euro is the estimated budget they are planning to spend, and her size is extra small. And she clicked our new arrivals actually advertisement, which is generally in their highest price range. So starting from there, this is the information from the customer side. And as the e-commerce retailer, I know 40 euro is in my upper segment price for the dresses. So Segmentify will automatically assign this individual visitor to an upper segment after these 3 clicks in 1 minute. So why real time is important? Yes, under that blue dress, you should be bringing up similar alternative products, because my initial idea is to make her click more products. So provide me more information about her so I can do the personalization much better. This is where we start, which means if I know she's extra small, Gary, under the products, we all have widgets now. Other products you might like. Customers who view this product also view these products, the alternative products. So now imagine you are the visitor, Gary. You check that product and told you are extra small. If the e-commerce company recommends you other dresses under that dress, which are out of stock in small size. So you click their recommendations, go to the website, next product page, PD page, try to pick your size, and it is out of stock. So what will be the feeling of the visitor? So what we try to do is to first avoid these discouragements, because we want them to get engaged with the website, because they are the first time visitor. This is where we start. So every single click, we enhance the algorithms, try to identify what she really needs. Is she here only for blue dresses, or a green dress, or a yellow dress might be adaptable? May I push her to go to 50 euro, 60 euro dresses? Is there any other money she can spend in my website? Or should I go to 35 euro dresses because she's kind of little bit price sensitive? This is the identification points. And we all try to do it in 5-10 minutes intervals, because she comes, visits a couple of products, and she will leave. So this is the first time visitor story starting from here. Now think about the existing customers. Gary and Murat went to the same fashion store, and we both actually search for a black t-shirt, okay? So now you can see my t-shirt, your t-shirt. Actually, you and me provide the viewers or listeners of this webinar our styles, okay? So this is my taste of style, and this is your taste of style. If you're an existing customer of my e-commerce website, I already knew what kind of products you like. Are you a business style, more sportive one, casual one? So even though we provide the same search keyword like black t-shirt, you and me should see different products in means of our price sensitivities, in means of our sizes, in means of our style preferences. Maybe you and I have different brand preferences on this website. So starting from here, with every single actually journey step of the visitor, we need to provide a personalized set of products. When I say products, it might be assets as well. It might be different banners about the ongoing different campaigns of the e-commerce web store.
Perfect. So let's kind of maybe talk about some of the tactics and widgets so people can understand how this works. So it's, I guess it's not just about showing the right content in the right place. It's also how you actually get people to that content.
So from the e-commerce manager perspective, what we realized actually, it's also always a drawback because you are never sure about the tactics and strategies. So you need to make some A/B tests very quickly. So what Segmentify helps, we come up with a set of widgets on the website. In the homepage, it's kind of mainly representing the storefront of the e-commerce website. In the PDB page, we generally focus on the alternative products. In the basket page, you try to help the customer to add one more product to the basket. So we are focusing on increasing the average order value there. So what we do, what my team does actually integrating the Segmentify, they do a UX analysis of the website as well. So where is the best place to inject those widgets, which should look like seamlessly same with the design of the website, because we want the customers feel like it is coming from the e-commerce website. So it is not an external actual edition. This is the offerings of the website for that specific individual visitor who already provide this visit to us. So you read 4 products, and I feel like you are not adding a dress into the website. Think about the initial actually journey of that visitor. So I need to bring up, are you looking for these products widget to them, which are the little bit cheaper alternatives of the initial product they saw. So I want them to click more products and add them. I want to sell this to you. So as I said, there are 25 different algorithms now in Segmentify, which can help for different strategies. Yes, we have some out-of-box implementations, and which up to a certain level provides the revenue contribution to the e-commerce company. So this takes a couple of months to benefit from the initial set. So, but after a couple of months, definitely we need to understand the seasonal changes, the exact marketing strategies of the e-commerce company, so we can adapt more algorithms to provide better solutions.
Okay, very good. So I just remind people as well, if you have any questions you want to ask yourself, you can use the Q&A function in Zoom, and we'll get to it when we see it. But I'll continue in the meantime. So look, before, I think you've said a lot of things there which might be a bit concerning around, God, it sounds like you know a lot about everything going on. It sounds a bit, you know, and people have that fear, right? But but I'm gonna get there. But before I kind of move on to that, I just wanted to ask you about B2B. What's the difference between B2B and B2C personalization?
So in B2B, we have special algorithms for B2B customers, because I need to understand the effect of the bulk purchases. So I need to understand the buying frequency of each individual business from my business. So then I can help them if I have an ongoing campaign for the regular products they used to buy from me, which they haven't actually purchased or ordered yet. I need to help them to identify, don't miss this opportunity, because their track record, historical track record, is much massive compared to the customer side. So I need to identify the past purchases of the B2B much in deep detail. That is why we generated a couple of algorithms to find out these frequencies, bulk purchases, and help them to buy it. In the B2C side, you more focus on increasing the engagement. But in the B2B side, engagement is more on the actually opportunity-wise. So it is more on the profit margins, more on their actually their own sales trajectories. So definitely different algorithms, different strategies should run there. But once you actually mentioned the concerns there, I'm sure we are coming there. Again, even with the B2B, there is only one way of overcoming those concerns. It is showing the value to your audience. So yes, I do this personalization, but you benefit from this because I know your size. And if one product which you want to buy is out of stock in your size, I want to send you an in-stock ad again, back in stock again, push notification, because you checked this product, tried to buy it, but it was not available. Again, think about the offline example I gave. You went to the store, you asked for a specific product, and he or she, the assistant, said, unfortunately, Gary, we don't have it now. Do you want me to call you when actually we have it in stock? And even they know when it is coming. next Tuesday it will be back in stock, so you can come. So this is what we're trying to adapt here. So if you just making your customers feeling like, ah, somebody is following me, watching me, that is the tricky part, I think.
Yeah, and I guess like it's something that it's a valid concern. I personally don't have a Facebook account, for example. And you know, I guess, but there's ethical ways, and there's ways to do things which don't necessarily mean your information is going to be sold or things like that. But I think from my perspective, I mean, if someone is on your web store, they have an intent to buy something. You're just helping them find what is actually they want to find. And there is, like, obviously, particularly in the EU, a lot of control over what can and can't be disclosed. So maybe just if I could get your take on essentially how customers can be reassured, end users can be reassured that, you know, the experience isn't a compromise of getting all their personal information and giving it away to everybody.
I need to assure my own customers first, the e-commerce managers. So now we are working in 23 different countries, Gary, and we are working with the competitors. So 2 competitors in a country are both using Segmentify. So when we found the company, me and my co-founder made an initial decision. We will keep all e-commerce websites data internally in their own machine learning algorithm. So actually, we have around 165 customers, and all of them has their own virtual machine learning setup. Initially, your data is your data. So as the e-commerce company, I am only processing your own data to make decisions for your own customers and visitors. So coming from here, we need to make sure that our customers, now the individual customers in the e-commerce website, feel like this. So whatever I am providing you is actually aggregated by your behavior in this website only. I am recommending you this black t-shirt, polo black t-shirt, because you bought polo black t-shirts from me. Just like, think about the Amazon example, because Amazon is building up a way of selling this and way of doing the shopping in the online world. So if you go beyond this setup, I predicted you might buy this because somehow I aggregated this data. This is not actually fair to the customers, A. This is a gray area, B. And this is also actually disrupting the confidence you are trying to build with your customers and visitors. So the wording in the titles of the widgets or the wordings you are using in your push notifications or emails can be a little bit sensitive. So if you ask me, I would focus on how we present it. So this is all about the presentation. So we should show the value there.
Okay. So look, I think we'll move on from that. Again, if any questions, feel free to ask. But, you know, I think the message is, you know, the point of this is you want to sell, the buyer wants to buy, and, you know, having just the usual category pages, and it's, you know, it's a bit of a for everybody solution, and it's kind of a workaround for that. So I want to move on to kind of reporting, segmenting. I mean, so okay, I'm interested in personalization. I have this personalization platform. I've got it integrated with my e-commerce solution. How can I qualify what I'm doing? How can I segment to have different segments of different activities? How can I, as you mentioned earlier on, A/B test? Like, how can I see the value essentially and prove it? And what can I expect to see, even from your point of view? What can people expect to see?
So it should be all number oriented. So I am an engineer. We should make the decisions based on the data. So Segmentify has a very unique value proposition. So we have multiple modules, but our product recommendations on the website and our search personalization module is learning very quickly. After implementing a couple of days, in recommendations it is 1 or 2 days, in search it is at most 5 days, you see the revenue being actually generated through those personalization strategies. So Gary was on the website. I recommended 4 products to him under the product page. He clicked one of the products. He added that product to the basket. He made a purchase including that product and 3 more products. So only the revenue coming from that single product that Gary clicked from the personalization widgets should be actually followed and calculated as the contribution of my personalization activities. This is the initial starting point. So what Segmentify provides, we provide at least 10% revenue contribution from the recommendation widgets and another 5% from the search recommendations. So in total, with on-site recommendations and search, e-commerce actually manager should see 15% of the revenue should be generated by Segmentify. This is the initial starting point. Addition of push notifications, emails in the long run brings this up to 20%. So a customer, an e-commerce manager should evaluate how much revenue I am making from this personalization solution. This is the first thing. The second one, another thing is the control groups. So for some 5, 10, 20% of your visitors, this is my advice is at least 10%, you should stop personalization. As today, whatever you do for every single visitor, you should show the same web page, same experience, and you should always compare the revenue from that 10% to the revenue coming from the other 90% which you provide fully personalized services. So this is the only way of doing the return on investment analysis of the personalization. Yes, we know the best practices. Yes, we know what a shoe retailer expects, what an electronics retailer expects. So we can do the comparison from different countries, but for them to internally make this decision, how much this solution is actually helping me, this is the only way to the control group, talk to the Segmentify team, we call it the Uplift Project, so see the actual uplift on it. I say it actual uplift because it happens in real time. Personalization has more benefits in addition to uplift. So the engagement level, increasing the customer lifetime value, the average order value, yes, these can be discussed. That is why we have the contribution concept. But if you really want to see how much money you are putting into my pocket, which we need to do analysis, because this is a commerce business at the end of the day. You invest to a solution, you see the result. So you should do the uplift analysis as well. This is our starting point. So, and value proposition wise, this is where we started. Segmentify tends to bring the most possible uplift in the actual market. And this is transparently reported back to the customer as you ask. Customer sees in real time which products are purchased from which widgets, and they can test it by themselves, doing some e-commerce manager, doing some test purchases. They can buy 5 products, use Segmentify widgets for 2, but we have no chance to know it. So they will see for that individual visitor, only those products are calculated in the uplift analysis. So I want my customers as well feel like transparently, yes, this tool helping us. Last thing, Gary, this is all about the automated algorithm-based personalization. So they need to tell us what they are planning to do, what is their KPI, and we need to bring up the best practices and best algorithms among the available ones, and it runs in autopilot. But plus, the intelligence we are aggregating about the visitors and also the products is still, I think, can generate benefit for the e-commerce managers. What I mean, I do some automated segmentation. I know who are the discount seekers. When I am doing the recommendations and personalization, I take this into account, but I am also providing this information to the e-commerce managers. Hey, Gary, see your discount seekers, see your super crema customers, see your sleepers. So these visitors are sleeping. I do my best as Segmentify, but you can also use this information for your other marketing activities. So download this data from me and use it in your other marketing actually tools to generate some value to these customers. If you want to give some coupons, let us distribute these coupons to the sleepers. So we want to wake them up. They used to buy a lot of products from us, but now somehow we lost the communication. Let's initiate it again. So we provide, it's not a black box. So they have the access to see the intelligence we aggregated about their customers.
Great, and actually that leads on to a question that was asked. You mentioned there about sharing data with coupon providers, or so in the whole ecosystem of maybe just conceptually point of sale systems to analytics. Like, how can we make use of this data across in an omnichannel way?
Yeah, I mean, we have an API-based integration, so we are the flexible ones because we know it is very tough in this e-commerce world to get integrated. That is why we have a dedicated team, a Segmentify customer success team. So you come to us and tell us, okay, we want to trigger this coupon service when actually you identify such a customer. So it is on us now to call that web service. So it's an action for us. Rather than recommending a product, we call a web service to give a coupon or to apply a discount, even in the offline store. So we have the integrations in the omnichannel wise with the solutions on the offline store, the sales assistants in the offline store, in their iPads. When Gary arrives, they can actually make a bunch of recommendations to Gary based on his data from the online and offline. This is important, Gary, because you know, people tend to buy more products when they are in the store. 3.4, 3.5 for fast fashion. But when they are in online, they find it and buy it. So the both together algorithms, complementary algorithms cannot learn only from the offline behavior. Yes, we are learning, but if he can merge the data from the offline store as well, if this is an omnichannel actually retail business, now you can merge this data in Segmentify to build up a bigger intelligence. So you can bring more data, so you can deep dive into more intelligence.
Great. Well, I think like essentially it's you mentioned there the API. So I guess it's down to developers' capabilities and abilities and creativity to map these things together. Look, just before we finish up, just to kind of summarize, if no one has other questions, just to summarize, you know, I'm a retailer or digital retailer. It's like I want to start. Like, what would you recommend as kind of how can I dip my toe in the water? What would you recommend as a starting point? And with just keeping in mind that maybe I might have to do it myself as the e-commerce marketing manager, or maybe if I'm lucky, I have an e-commerce executive or assistant to help me with that. But like, how can we reassure people that, you know, they can start and it's not going to take over their day-to-day job?
So as an academician, when we found the company, I used to send some 30 pages of integration booklets to my customer candidates 6 years before, but they never became my customers. I realized in the e-commerce world, there are a lot of plates on the table and e-commerce managers are really doing a magic. So they are like junglers. So there we stopped and we identified the problem and we provide the solution. Now, we do the integration from the website to Segmentify, and also we do the first initial set of best practices in their website with our customer onboarding team. And we have a committed 5 business days to go live that process. So if an e-commerce manager wants to actually identify or at least test the possible opportunity from the personalization, we say that, yes, we have a free trial and you don't need to invest anything to do the integration on this. So let us do everything for you. The only thing we expect you is to add 1 line of code using Google Tag Manager. If you are a Kooomo customer, which is much better, we already have we did this multiple times integration. So Kooomo helps us to add the line of code. We have the XML feed from Kooomo site. That is the only thing we needed. Give us 5 business days. We do the integration in Segmentify site. We build up the initial set of personalization strategies. And when we are ready to go live, so during that 14 days of free trial, our onboarding managers actually help you to identify the journey and see the opportunities. What else you can do in addition to that best practices. I think this is the best one, and proof is in the pudding, Gary. So do the Uplift project, 10%, 9% uplift, and see the uplift. Then you make the decision, does this help me to invest? And magic with Segmentify, if you ask me, Murat, what is the main value proposition there? We are coming from a world which needs to be learned very fast. The algorithms was initially developed for security. So that is why our main value proposition is Segmentify algorithms are very fast to learn. So in a couple of days, we really show that this revenue is coming from Segmentify. So it is very easy for the e-commerce managers to start, test, and see the results actually. But one note, if they really want to benefit from it, in the long run, we really need their engagement because, again, there is not one fits all solution. So yes, we do the best practices, but in the long run, we need to understand where this business wants to go. If they want to grow in a specific region, in a specific brand, or in a specific set of category, we need to understand it and help the e-commerce manager. Still, after working, we are dedicating an account manager, building the strategies for them, listening them, what they want to do. And among the available solutions, we adapt the ones that the e-commerce manager needs. But we need their engagement, definitely.
Yeah, like just to kind of follow up on something you mentioned there about integration. I mean, often big fundamental changes to e-commerce websites, you know, it often involves ERP integrations. It involves a lot of custom development. It can, but like from a purely technical point of view, it's all front end pretty much. I mean, it's not a big onerous task from an implementation point of view. And as you mentioned, we're just in it. Yeah, it's a case of, well, we send you the catalog and you do the rest. It's pretty much what it is.
Exactly. This is what happened. Yeah. This is what happened, actually.
Okay, just there's one question there from somebody. It might be disclosing your roadmap or maybe not. But someone's asked if there's kind of any innovations, anything kind of that's emerging in personalization in the short to medium term that e-commerce managers should be aware of.
So what we realized, we released our search module last year, and there seems to be a lot of interest from our existing customers even. So we learned a lot from them, because current search and merchandising solutions, let's say, available to the e-commerce companies to adapt some kind of functions or some kind of selections for the merchandising solutions. But it is not personal. So what we see here, 50% of the traffic in an e-commerce website is landing to those listing pages, category pages. So there we need to adapt more in-depth personalization. So Segmentify team is during last 2 quarters heavily working on bringing the personalization concept into merchandising, into search results page. So end of this month, we will be releasing the first version of this. And next six months, actually, we will be heavily working on how we can make this merchandising much effective visually and providing personalized solutions to every single visitor. That will be our main focus, because as everyone knows what is happening with these new cookie policies, the main thing is actually increasing the loyalty of the customers now. Again, engagement. COVID helped us, unfortunately. So it affected Word a lot, but moved a lot of things much faster to the digital. We have much newer visitors and customers who never made online purchases, but now it is time to learn about them and make them loyal customers, not single first-time purchases, not single-time visitors and purchases. So we need to build up the relationship with the existing customers. That is the key I think we should focus on, because in this world, like us, like Kooomo, e-commerce companies has a lot of competition as well. So the only way to beat this competition is to build up loyal audiences.
Yep, great. Thank you for that. I think we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for your time today. And I hope everyone who joined got something out of it. And yeah, thanks very much. And we'll see you at the next Kooomo webinar, hopefully.
Thank you very much, Gary, for the invitation. Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you.